Hello, everyone. Welcome to your Vinyasa practice. My name is Tessa, which most of you know, but happy to have you here if you haven't joined us before. So just a little disclaimer, I am gingerly nursing a sore back. I overdid it with some weight training over the weekend. So I get to practice what I preach, right? Learning our limitations, moving within the boundaries and the borders of our physical body and honoring that. As I always invite you to do the same for yourself, I'll give you modifications, which I will be taking for myself. But know that if you need something a little bit more active and challenging, you can always add that on and I'll talk you through those additions. We're going to start out in child's pose. I'm going to use a chair in my practice, which would work very similar to blocks. So if you do want that kind of prop, please feel free to grab it and set it at the top of your mat. If you're using the chair, be sure the two legs of the chair are on the mat, so it's not going to slide around on you. And we'll head into child's pose. And take the knees up wide, big toes touching. You can stretch the arms forward. Let your forehead rest on either the back of your folded hands, or you can let your forehead rest on the mat. Just take some time here to allow the hips, the heels, find a little bit more space in the back body, in particular lumbar spine. And so in essence, the pelvis and the tailbone. Let's take about 3 to 5 more breaths here. And just notice how your body feels today. How does this shape feel? If you're feeling some sensation, where do you feel it? And we'll just start to add on bit by bit. So on the inhale, we'll press down into the hands. We'll pull the heart forward, coming into tabletop. Deep breath in here. And then exhale, pulling the hips back to the heels, child's pose. Inhale, come forward, tabletop. You can start to layer on a back bend. You can let your belly drop, your heart peel forward, your tailbone can lift. And then on your exhale, you can press down around the spine as the hips move back towards the heels to child's pose. So you're kind of layering in cat-cow between child's pose and tabletop. Continue inhaling forward. And then as the hips and the back start to warm up, you can maybe think about drawing the hips down into kind of like this lazy upward facing dog. If that's too much on the back, like I can feel it in my low back, it's probably too much for me. Don't do it. And your exhale is always going to send you back to child's pose. Let's try this movement in and out of a back bend and child's pose 3 more times. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. So you get to find your own pace, your own rhythm. Doesn't need to match mine. And just try one more time. Warming up the spine and the back body. Let's inhale and come all the way forward. We're going to lengthen out onto the belly. Palms underneath, like, let's say the low ribs. So walk the wrists back to the elbows. Press down into the hands, the tops of the feet, the pubic bone, lift the heart, low cobra. And then exhale, release. And again, press the floor away, lift the heart, any amounts, great. Exhale, release. And just try that twice more. Inhale, exhale. Once more, inhale, exhale. On your next inhale, press up to hands and knees, tabletop. And then begin to curl the toes under. We're going to come into our first down dog. So spread those fingers wide. See if you can get your inner index finger and your thumb knuckle pressing into the mat. Strong arms. And then as you lengthen out through the backs of the legs, starting to add a little movement, bending knees right to left. The purpose of our down dog, especially the first one, is to start to build strength and heat in the shoulders and to open up the back body. A few more breaths here. On your next inhale, shift forward, find high plank and pause. Lengthening out in high plank, drop that right knee down to the mat. Just let it tap or hover. And then extend the right leg back, high plank. Let that left knee drop down or hover above the mat. And then extend it back into high plank. Pressing through the hands, lift the hips up and back, down dog. We'll do that a few times. We'll inhale, shift forward, high plank. Pause and lengthen out. Squeezing your inner thighs, tucking your tailbone under. Draw your right knee to hover above the mat or touch. And then extend back, high plank. And then left knee. Hover or tap. Extend back, high plank. Press into the hands, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels. Begin to step your feet forward. You're coming to the top of your mat. Uttanasana, your first forward fold. Just like you approach down dog, bend your knees right and left. You can take your hands to your chair if it's there, your blocks if you like, or you can grab onto your opposite elbows. So again, every step of the way, you're just assessing what's appropriate for you and your body today, knowing that every day is different. Let's come to a halfway lift, fingertips to shins or hands on your prop. Tuck your tailbone under, hug your navel into your spine. Find a nice, long, and strong spine here. Deep breath in. Little bend in your knees. Walk your hands to your waist. Stand up. And then, even though you can't really see me, I'm going to bend my knees a little bit. Sweep your arms forward and up. Bend your elbows. Take your hands behind you to your opposite shoulder. So I'll kind of show you what I'm doing here. So I'm just bending my elbows. Fingertips are reaching for opposite shoulders on my back as I'm standing up at the top of my mat. Exhale, forward fold, release all of that. Soft bend in those knees. Walk your hands back to the mat. Step your feet back to high plank. As you come into high plank, draw your right knee to hover just above the mat. Extend it back, high plank. Left knee hover just above the mat. Extend it, high plank. Press through the hands, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let's shift forward, high plank. Set both of your knees down, tabletop, and then step your right foot forward. So coming into a low lunge, extend your right arm forward, your left arm back. In your low lunge, basically you're like in warrior two with your left knee on the mat. And then just start to kind of rock forward and back. So it's like you're moving the hips down and forward, and then you're just pulling back a little bit, rocking forward and back. Now we're going to add the arms on. So as we shift the hips forward, left arm's going to reach forward, right arm's going to reach back. You're kind of in a twist. and then pull it back. You're back to that warrior two leg shape. And then shifting forward with the hips, left arm reaches forward, right arm reaches back. Open up through the arms. So just continue with this a few times. Just notice how it feels. And what is the breath doing? Really important. What is the breath doing? One more time. Open up warrior two with that back knee down, and then reach that left arm forward, that twist. Let's bring that left palm underneath the left shoulder, right arm rotate towards the ceiling. You can curl those back toes under, lift the back knee if you like. Deep breath in. Breath out, right palm plants, high plank. Bend that right knee, hover. Extend it back, high plank. Bend that left knee, hover. Extend it, high plank. Press through the hands, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. 2 breaths here. Inhale, shift forward again, high plank. And both knees back to the mat. Stepping your left foot forward. Rise up to that low lunge. You're letting that right knee be part of your base here as you stretch your left arm forward, right arm back. Here's like your warrior two, right? And so you're kind of like moving the hips forward and down. So actually, let's just start to move the hips back and forth before we add on the arms, since we did that on the first side. Now let's add on the arms. So as you shift forward, you're going to reach that right arm forward, that left arm back. It's like you're in a twist in your lunge. And then as you shift the hips back, right arm stretches back, left arm stretches forward. It's like you're in warrior two. Now continue with that, adding the arms on. And make sure the breath is really guiding this. So not necessarily my words, but your breath guiding that movement. Couple more times. And then right arm stretches forward, let that palm plant underneath the shoulder. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. If you like, curl those back toes under, lift the back knee. You're in a simple twist with your lunge. Deep breath in. Breath out, left palm plants. High plank. Hover, bend that left knee. Extend it back, high plank. Hover, bend that right knee. Extend it back, high plank. Press through the hands. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Few rounds of breath here. Let's start to lift the heels, bend the knees, walk the feet forward. Uttanasana at the top of your mat. Fingertips walk up to the shins or hands to the prop. Find your halfway lift. Little bend in those knees, hands to the waist. And then as you stand up, sweep the arms forward and up. Bend the elbows, fingertips to your opposite shoulder blades on your back. See if you can add a little lift of the heels here so you're hovering up on your toes. And then exhale, release, come back to your forward fold. Bend your knees enough so that you plant. Make your way back to high plank. Now here's an option. You can shift forward from high plank onto those tippy toes, and you can move through chaturanga, or you can come all the way onto the belly and another round of low cobra. You can press up into your hands and knees, tabletop, or up to downward facing dog. And then child's pose is always an option. You take about 3 breaths there. And whether you're in child's pose or down dog, just stay, just breathe. I'm just going to take a moment to adjust my camera. There we go, that's better. All right, one more breath where you are. Now let's meet up in tabletop. So come back to hands and knees. We're going to start to add on to our vinyasa. We're going to extend that right leg back, extend that left arm forward. So you're balancing on your right palm and your left knee as you extend opposite leg and arm. Okay. Bring that left palm back down. Curl your left toes under. See if you can press up to 3-legged dog from here. So right leg is still reaching up and back. Deep breath in. And then on your breath out, right foot between the hands. You know that transition we did where we set the knees down and then you step the foot forward? You can absolutely do that here. Let's spin that back heel down, rise up to warrior 2. The traditional warrior 2. Back knees lifted. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Now we're going to add that rotation forward with that twist and the arms. So the left arm's going to stretch forward, right arm's going to stretch back. And what's really driving this is the feet. So as that left heel comes back to the mat, the arms spread out wide, warrior 2. And then left heel lifts, left arm stretches forward, crescent lunge with your twist. So again, try that a couple of times. Open and close. Add on that twist. And use your breath. Each time I do this, I am adjusting my feet to allow space for my hips. Come back to your crescent lunge, stretch that left arm forward, and then if you want, you can layer on a bit of a back bend. The right arm can reach down for that left hamstring as that left arm stretches high. Deep breath in, and then left palm plants underneath the shoulder on the mat as the right arm rotates up towards the ceiling. Option to stay here or walk that right foot back. Vashisthasana, your side plank. You can stack or stagger the feet. Take a big breath in wherever you are. And then on your breath out, high plank. You can move forward and down through chaturanga or set the knees down, cat cow. That's what I'm opting for. Feels nice. If you're taking cat cow, move through a few rounds. If you're moving through chaturanga up dog, see if you can utilize that breath to movement idea. Inhaling in the back bend and exhaling to your stillness. We'll meet up in downward facing dog. Take your time getting there. In your down dog, as usual, you're pressing the floor away, strong hands, strong arms and shoulders. Let your heels be heavy. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Shift forward, come back to hands and knees, tabletop. And then extend the left leg back. Extend the right arm forward. And just pause here for a moment. You're balancing on left palm and right knee. Deep breath in. Here's the option to set that right palm back down, curl the right toes under, and can you press up to 3-legged dog here? Still stretching that left leg up and back. Take a big breath in. And then exhale any way you like. Left foot comes forward between the hands. Right heel bone spins down to the back of the mat. You're rising up to warrior 2. Settle into warrior two, arms spread wide. The right heel is going to lift, the hips are going to rotate forward. Right arm's going to stretch forward, left arm's going to stretch back. I always keep a little bend in that back knee. Helps the low back lengthen out. Open back up, warrior two. And then spin that right heel up, crescent lunge. Right arm reaches forward, left arm reaches back. Continue. So find your cadence, your breath. Use those feet to rotate. The whole body starts that rotation from the feet. Just a couple more times. One more time, open up, warrior two. And then come back to crescent lunge. Here's the option to send that left hand down. Maybe it can reach for the right hamstring as the right arm stretches up. And then right palm plants, top of the mat. Left arm rotates towards the ceiling. You can stay here just like this, or you can heel toe that left foot back to the back of the mat. Vashisthasana with stacked or staggered feet. Vashisthasana just means side plank. Left palm down, high plank. Option to move through any kind of vinyasa here. Maybe it's another round of cat-cow. That's what I'm taking. Maybe allow your eyes to close and your breath and your intuition to guide you. Settle back into child's pose or down dog if you haven't already. We'll take 3 breath cycles. We'll inhale and meet in tabletop. Last little bit of work here, then we're going to come to our back. So right leg extends back, left arm stretches forward. Option to stay here. You're already building strength. This is such a great pose for strength building and balancing body right to left. Or you can bend that right knee, you can reach back, rotate the left shoulder open, and maybe you catch a hold of the foot. It's not going to happen for me today. Some days it does. So I'm just going to stay here in balance and extended opposite leg and hand. What's important here is core is stabilizing and you're building strength. If you're grabbing hold of that right foot with the left hand, can you kick the foot into the hand? So you're pulling that left shoulder open. Wherever you are, whatever it looks like, one more deep breath in, deep breath out, and then release nice and slow, left palm and right knee back to the mat. Cat-cow here in between sides. And so in this position, a couple things we're working on besides balance and strengthening, of course. But as you extend that left leg back, we're just going to switch sides as I talk to you. Left leg back, right arm forward. If you're taking that bind, the left knee bends, the right arm reaches back. That's when you're building rotation, so rotation of the spine, as well as the strength. Whatever's in contact with the floor, in this case, the left palm and the right knee, actively press the floor away. So you're not dipping into the shoulder, you're not leaning into the low back. You're building this strength through the spine. Wherever you are, if you've got the bind, can you stick with it for another breath round? If you're just simply extending your right arm forward, left leg back, again, one more breath round. Not easy, but simple. One more breath. I already said that, so I give you a bonus breath. And then exhale, right palm down, left knee down. Let's shift the hips back. We'll find child's pose. Coming full circle where we Right. We're gonna make our way onto our backs. If you've got blocks or a chair close by, you might want to utilize it. I'm gonna take my calves over the edge of my chair as I come onto my back. Really great way to release low back after all of strength building and good work is to just give the backs of the knees a little bit of support. If you don't have a prop underneath the backs of the knees, no big deal. Just lengthen out on your back. Let's hug that right knee into the chest. Take the hands behind that right leg and then press the right foot up towards the ceiling. And just bend and straighten into that right knee a few times. I'm trying to keep my right knee stacked on top of my hip instead of pulling it into the chest. One more time. Stretch that right foot up towards the ceiling, flex the toes towards the face. Let your leg be heavy in the stirrup of your hands. And then release that right leg. You're either stretching it straight out or letting it fall onto the prop. Begin to hug your left knee into your chest. Give it a nice squeeze. Can you get it close to your rib cage, your belly? And then hands to the back of the leg, pressing the left leg up towards the ceiling. Just hinging from the knee. So keep the knee stacked on top of the hip if you can, as you bend and you straighten that left leg. One more time. Foot towards the ceiling, flex the toes towards the face. Feel the weight of that leg in the stirrup of your hands. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Let your left leg go onto the prop or the chair. Just take a moment here if you would like any last movement. Maybe it's Apanasana. You could hug both of those knees into the chest. Any last movement, shifting the body is craving. And then let's take a moment to just be still. The belief, the idea behind Shavasana, this last pose and the stillness of it, is this is where everything integrates. That there is really deep, profound medicine in the quiet and the stillness of Shavasana. And oftentimes the mind and the ego want to take over to tell you that you have all of these things to go and do and take care of. If we can remind ourselves that that's just a story and it may or may not be true, but what profound medicine comes from just giving yourself a few moments of stillness, detaching from the narrative. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open the mouth, exhale. Feel your shoulders soften away from your ears. A slight tilt of the chin into the chest. Let your eyes close. Shavasana. Without moving your body, just become aware of the weight of your body resting in this particular time and space. Points of contact that the body has with the floor or whatever you're lying on. And as you breathe in, contact with the air, the space around you, front body, the air against the skin. If your eyes are still closed, you can visualize the room that you're in, the colors, the shapes that are there. You can always stay in Shavasana as long as you like. If you need to move on, you can start to gently move fingertips and toes. And move your head side to side. When you're ready for more, you can reach your arms long overhead. And then on an exhale, rolling off to a side, fetal position, passing through, pressing into the hands, and rising up to an upright seat, just briefly. Joining the hands together at the heart. A gesture of Anjali Mudra, which means offering. Bowing the chin into the chest. Offering reverence and gratitude for your practice. And to all of our teachers, past, present, future. To the teacher within your own heart. Namaste, yogis. Hope you're feeling good. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Until next time.